And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 141 of Robodope Boxing. When the two Daves are back on a Wednesday afternoon, strange time, but we are back to give you a boxing preview for the weekend coming up. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. This is a weird one, Dave. We are back, but it's going to have to be a flying visit. You're in a, looks like, or sounds like an airport. I know you're not. I've just got out of my pit. And what's going on, man?
I'm currently on my lunch break in a Costa Coffee next to my project. I've had to whiz out for a quick break, do this, have lunch, and try and squeeze it all in. This week's been a little bit of a mad week. We usually do it on a Monday night. Just speaking to you off air. Stupidly, I agreed to help out some friends and work nights as well as days. So I've had 3 hours sleep. I've done 21 hours yesterday. It didn't go to plan, as it never does when I'm involved. And I'm at it again tonight. So sleep deprivation. I can't even say it because I'm so tired.
You are tired.
Deprivation is the order of the week. But yeah, when your money is hungry as I am, you do silly things. Doing nights and days at the moment and trying to squeeze a bit of sleeping where I can. So unfortunately, we have to try and squeeze this in as well. So it's a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, love doing it. So we will try and make time,
Yeah, priorities first, mate. So let's get cracking straight into it then. No niceties. We'll start on Friday over at the 3 Arena Dublin. The return of Mick Conlan. This is on Channel 5. And actually it's on Thriller. Is it Triller? Triller, I say.
Yeah, Triller,
yeah. In the US, which is a bit strange, but it's still on. It's available to watch for us over here in the UK, free-to-air TV. He's back. He takes on Jack Bateson over 10 rounds in the featherweight division. Now, we don't need to go across the whole stellar amateur medals, all that kind of thing with Mick Conlan. We know exactly what we're getting for him. So let's jump straight into it, mate. What's he now? 33, 34. He had a year out after one of his defeats. I can't remember which one it was. But obviously, we've seen him lose and get knocked out against Lee Wood, Luis Alberto Lopez, Jordan Gill. That's the one. That's a knockout. He had a year off. He started doing marathons, retraining, all sorts of different things he was doing. He came back, I think it was in March. He fought against an Indian fella, looked okay, got the job done. But he's looking to rebuild and he's looking to win a world title. But what we do know about Mick Conlan, Dave, we know how good he is. You know how he can take the piss out of people, technically very good. But blowing him, whatever saved his career, and he's over. Yeah. So I don't know. Basically, my question to you is, mate, for our first fight, can Mick Conlan rebuild and go and win a world title? Because that's the only thing that's kind of evaded him. He's never been a hype job, but that title kind of makes him a hype job because he just hasn't got to the final furlong,
I've got a weird feeling about his rebuild. His rebuild seems odd to me because really, he was fast tracked, and because of the Olympic scandal and whatnot, he was thrown into the spotlight. He had a massive opportunity on Top Rank, boxing in America, boxing on Paddy's Day, which is a massive thing, a big support. And he's got all the skills in the world. He took, he is chinny. His lights go out the minute he gets hit on the chin. He gets knocked out heavily. But this rebuild seems strange to me. Like I say, you said he was in with the Indian fella in the last fight. Didn't look great. The fight before that, he didn't look great. And now he's in with Jack Bateson, who's, he's been in with Shabazz Massoud. About 5 or 6 fights ago, got beat.
It's only his defeat, I think, wasn't it, Massoud?
Yeah. I mean, it's just no shame. Massoud is a good fighter, but if we're rebuilding at this sort of a level of opponent, at what point is are we going to be in this Anthony Yarde sort of thing where you're fighting these type of guys and you're going to go in to try and fight a champion? The rebuild seems weird to me. It doesn't look like it's stepping up in opponents quick enough to get to a world title. It looks like to me it's going to be fighting guys, trying to get a bit of confidence and jumping straight into something. And I think that's, if it's a proper real, but that's not right for me. Because with the question marks around his chin are always there anyway. Skills, there's no questions. But if you're going to rebuild, let's rebuild at a certain level, take a route, better fighters, but no disrespect to Jack Bateson, but, this rebuild, if it is a rebuild, it's going to take a long time if you're going to do it, the right way. In level of opponent for me. He's making all the right noise and the right sound bites, but when I'm looking at the opponents, is it really a rebuild? I've always questioned, especially the last few fights, what the goal is. Does he really, really believe what he's saying, because the opponents don't suggest that, because like you said, he's 33, time's not on his side. you know, if he is going for a world title, the names need to be bigger for me, mate. You know, I'm not saying right now world level, you know, even like a European level, you know, someone who's going to test him, but the opponents are underwhelming for me for a legit rebuild, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And obviously, I think he's with Wasserman now, not the greatest promoter in the world. They're more interested in Misfits. Don't get me wrong, he's Mick Conlan. He sells tickets. He can still main event. You know, there can be a path through where he gets a world title shot. But the champions at the moment, you wouldn't kind of touch them with Mick's chin. How silly that sounds. But you are right. Their opponents are underwhelming. Kid plucked out of India and now a British level fighter in Jack Bateson. He needs to look good as well. I mean, if he struggles there, or he just looks, you know, if he plateaus or he just looks below par like he did against Khan, people are going to kind of switch off, even though he has got that name to go forward. But yeah, I don't think it's a great fight, but I think, and I look at both of the guys, Dave, even though Mick now at 33 makes 126 pounds very, very easily. That is his weight. That is his natural weight.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit of a chess match here, but let's be honest. And unless he's switched on, he has to be switched on, you know, for those 10 rounds. You know, I don't think Bateson's a huge puncher, but it doesn't matter with Mick blowing him, as I said, and he goes down. But if he's switched on for those 10 rounds, he should have more than enough to get a unanimous points decision for me here, Dave.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Like I said, I think he made hard work of Khan, didn't he? It wasn't a great fight. No,
it wasn't. Let's not sugarcoat it. It was okay.
Yeah.
He got caught far too often and what he should. You know, defensively, probably he's not the best, which is crazy to say, but you know, the proof's in the pudding. You know, when he gets touched, when he gets tagged, when he gets jabbed, he is very powder puff in that sense, isn't he? But
yeah, but like I say, if he has a lackluster performance, if he has a not a great performance against Japan, I think the talk of world titles that, you know, needs to go away unless drastic changes are made.
Yeah. So which way are you going then for our first prediction?
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm going to go for Mick Conlan on points.
Yeah, it's the safest route, isn't it? It's the safest route. Right, on the undercard, it's a bit going on, but we've poked out the return of Charlie Edwards. That's again, Charlie Edwards, the last time we saw him, mate, he was on the undercard of Nick Ball, TJ Dehaney. He fought against Andrew Kane. There was a narrative there about the trainers in Liverpool, all that kind of jazz. Big fans of Charlie since his comeback, but let's be totally honest. He was shit in this fight. It was absolutely rubbish. It was awful. He was on the back foot constantly with no output and still thought he won the fight. Must do better in this return fight, Dave. Must do better. We know he's better than that. We know he can box. We know he's got all the skills to pay the bills, similar to Mick Conlan. But he just didn't want to engage. It's like he was petrified to getting hit. He's with Stephen Smith now. We know Stephen Smith probably hasn't asked him to fight like that. You got his brother, Sully Edwards' influence. Did that help being an evasive fighter? I don't know. But he has to look a lot better against his opponent here in Salvador Juarez if he wants to kick on and become world champion again, you know?
Yeah, mate, it needs to be a massive performance. He lost a lot of fans in that last fight. He really, really did. Like we were high on him. Yeah, we were high on him up to that point. I mean, when he first come back on Channel 5, we were talking about his footwork and the Charlie Edwards back. There was world title talks and stuff like that, and we were on the train. You know, like he looked very, very good.
Yeah.
The tactics and whatever was going on in the Ashley Kane fight was just wrong. Everything was wrong in it, and there was no plan B. There was no changing it up. It was Tom and Jerry, as Turkey Al Sheikh would say.
And he thought he won. That was the crazy thing about it. I mean, who was telling him what in his corner? You know,
exactly. He didn't win, and
no.
I don't want to see a glimmer of that in this fight against Juarez. Looking at his record, Juarez, it looks like a rebuild fight. Listen, yes, he lost the fight. The tactic was wrong. The fight was awful, but it wasn't a damaging defeat. You know, it wasn't. I don't think that it needed to be a rebuild, as what I could sort of see here. Like the guy's had 9 losses. He's had like four KOs in his 20 wins. I'm not expecting him to cause Charlie many problems in this fight. I've got to admit, it almost feels like a fight you would take after you've had a damaging defeat. Yes, he had a defeat, but it wasn't damaging. I think that he could have still, you know, gone on from what he was trying to rebuild in his fights previous, you know, and tried to step up. Just had a bad night. They put it down to a bad night in the office and gone down that route. I want to see the Charlie Edwards that we know and love. The great footwork, the lateral movement, the combinations. You know, the in and out, and all the stuff that he does so well.
The boxer, not the runner.
Yeah, the running was awful, mate. That was, it was Devin Haney like, and it was just wrong.
Is this guy, this Salvador Perez, Dave? Sorry to interrupt. Is he Mexican? Is he? I haven't done too much.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's 32-year-old Mexican. He's had nine defeats, one by stoppage, and he's had 20 wins with 4 KOs. So
he's going to come forward, isn't he? He's going to come forward.
It's going to be tough because if you're looking at the 9 defeats, obviously 8 of them are on points, so he's tough.
I'm just thinking of the style. I'm just thinking the style off the top of my head. If he comes forward and stalks and looks to try and take Charlie Edwards out, hopefully we're not getting a rinse and repeat of him going on the back foot and no output. That's what I'm a bit frightened of, But keep the faith.
I really hope that it doesn't. I hope that we see the Charlie that we know and love. I'm going to go for Charlie on points in this one, mate. I'm afraid. I can see this Mexican being tough, but I think Charlie have a bit much. But I hope it's a much proven performance more than anything.
Box and move, not just move. Box and move, because you probably won't knock this. I think this guy you said there, he's only been stopped once, isn't he? So
stopped once, yeah.
Typical Mexican, hard as nails, but must do better. But same. I'm going the same as you, mate, Dave. Charlie Edwards by points decision. So as I said, that's on Channel 5 on Friday night. On Saturday on DAZN. Yeah. Rainton Meadows Arena, Houghton Les Spring, if I said that right. Never heard of the place, but it is up in a little town outside Sunderland. And obviously the main event is Pat McCormack, who's a Sunderland boy. He takes on Miguel Parra in the welterweight division. McCormack 7-0 now, 5 KOs. Again, we know about him being a stellar amateur, loads of medals. I think he was won silver or bronze in the Olympics. Obviously, joined with Eddie. I think he's about 30 years of age now. Adapting to the pros very, very well. Last time out, mate, we saw him stopping Robbie Davis Jr. in 6 rounds, more or less ended Robbie Davis Jr.'s career. He's up against this road warrior in Parra. Look, again, it's a kind of a Galal-Yafai kind of conversation because of the amateur record, how well he's adapted to the pros. Is this a stepping stone for him, or is this a fight now he needs to get rid of and then think, right, fuck it, you've only got a good 5 years left. Let's give you someone that's going to hit you back and test you. Because even though Parra's tough, he's been around the block a bit, he can punch a bit. I still think Pat, the younger, I say younger, even though he's 30, I think he's still a lot fresher, no miles on the clock. I think Pat McCormack might make a bit of a statement here, but it's not the statement I'm looking for, even though in inverted commas I am. But where do we go with him next? I know he's only 7-0, Dave. I'm guessing this is going to be 8-0 next, but his career seems a little bit stalling. Is he like fighting once or twice a year and nobody hears of him, and then he's once or twice a year? There's not a lot. For me, I know I'm asking lots of questions in one kind of paragraph here, but Eddie doesn't seem to wax lyrical about Pat McCormack more than he should compared to some of his other fighters. So, there's a lot to take out of that, mate. I know we're pushed for time, but Pat McCormack in his hometown of Sunderland, Saturday night against the journeyman in, the well-travelled Miguel Parra. Hey, thoughts on this one, mate?
I'm with you. I'm worried about Eddie Hearn's British fighters that he's got, and because we touched on it last week about Nick Ball being the only British world champion. I believe that now that obviously DAZN and Eddie Hearn's got a stable abroad, I feel that that the British fighters are neglected, and I think that's what we're seeing when we've got only one world champion. When in 2017 we had 17, I think 12 or 17.
So that what? Just men?
Sorry?
Was that just men back then? 2017? Was that just men champions or male and female?
Just male.
Wow, that's a massive drop off.
We had I can't name it. I might have the figure wrong, but we're definitely in double figures.
Still bad, isn't it?
Yeah. So I believe I say you only got to look at the British shows. The British shows are not great at the moment now. We got Turkey Al Sheikh and we got all this Saudi stuff and stuff, but British boxing for me is not in the best of places at the moment, and I think in that fighters like Pat McCormack, ain't getting the coverage, ain't getting the backing, But you remember when Eddie Hearn was with Sky Sports, he was singing, screaming people's names: Anthony Croller, Paul Smith, Tony Bellew, Callum Smith. He waxed lyrical, but you don't really hear him talking about them now. They're still out there, the British fighters, but I think his attention is elsewhere. And in that, Pat McCormack is suffering, I believe. That's just my opinion, but that's what I believe. You nailed it. He's 30 years old. And, again, we talk about it all the time. Time's not on his side. And he needs to get a move on. He can only beat what's put in front of him, and he's doing that, and he's looking good doing it as well. You know, there's only a couple. I think, you know, there's only a couple more fights like this that he can have. I think, you know, the opponents need to be stepped up. I like the routes, the British routes, the European routes. I like that route, and I like that route for prospects. Even if he does need to get a push on at 30. Yeah, so I like you.
It's the Olympic background as well, Dave. It's the Olympic background. It's why he needs to be kind of rushed through.
Yeah,
you know, if he was just a guy off the street, like you know, like an Anthony Joshua or someone, or not even, that's probably a bad example, like an Anthony Yards with no amateur experience, you kind of will wait. But because he's got all the skills to pay the bills, big, strong, can punch like a mule. Come on, let's do better. I'm going to use that phrase quite a lot this afternoon. Let's do better. Let's get power out of the way. Let's start waxing lyrical about Pat McCormack and put your hand in your pocket, Eddie, for whatever you've got left, and pay someone that's going to give him a fight. Look, I hope Para gives him a fight on Saturday night. I really, really do. Yeah. But I think Pat McCormack's got more than enough to take care of this.
I don't see it, mate. I don't see it. Pat McCormack is a good fighter, really good fighter. Does all the fundamentals very well, you know, and as Olympians do. And they should be pushed forward. They should be pushed. I think, you know, that's a good win for Robbie Davies Jr. I don't think after a win like that, no matter where Robbie Davies Jr. is in his career, he was a decent enough fighter. You know,
they've retired him now.
He's exactly. I don't think a journeyman after a performance like that is good. I think it's just to keep him busy. I think there's better fights out there that he could be having, and I hope after this he has it. For me, he's going to put on a good performance. He's going to showcase his skills like he always does. He's spiteful. And you know, he throws great shapes. He throws great combinations. Picks a shot very well. You know, and he's got spite. I think he's going to stop this guy, Para, in round 5.
Yeah, I'll go 6. I'll go. I think he's going to make a bit of a statement, putting a bit of a show for the Sunderland faithful, mate. So yeah, I'm going the same way as you. Pat McCormack by stoppage. Now it's a bit of a next gen / prospects / contender show. It's a weird one there. You got like your youngsters like Leo Atang and Adam Macker on here. Cameron Vong is actually fighting there. I was going to preview him, but as we're recording this, he's fighting against TBA, so a bit hard to do that. And Troy Williamson is on here, and I didn't realise he's fighting for the British super middleweight belt against Mark Dickinson. Now, I'm not going to preview this one, sorry. I should do, but obviously if it's a cracking fight like they normally are, we will speak about it next week. But he's lost 3 or 4. I think he's lost 4 in his last 5, Troy Williamson. So it's not a great record. So we'll be keeping an eye on him. But I did want to jump and talk about the girls quickly before we do move over to Mexico. Sandy Ryan, sexy Sandy, Dave. I don't care if I said that or not, because she is. She's back out on this card with Matchroom. 2 back-to-back. You can tell I've just woke up as well. Back-to-back defeats against Mikeala Mayer. We had Paintgate and all that kind of thing. The first fight was closer than the second. She takes on Jade Grierson in this kind of, I wouldn't say it's a rebuild fight, but because Sandy Ryan should be in rebuild. She's too good, ex-world champion. But I've put this in our preview, Dave, because I want to see what version we're getting of Sandy. Is it going to be a Sandy that's feeling sorry for herself? Or is it a Sandy that's fucking pissed off? Now, let's be honest. 9 times out of 10, when you see her on the TV or on social media, she looks pissed off. She looks angry. She's got that angry sort of persona about her. She's going to walk into this and smash Jade Grierson to bits and say, right, I don't need no takeovers. I'm going to wait for the winner, well, it should be the winner of Lauren Price against Mikeala Mayer. That should be an undisputed fight, because those are 2 girls who's got the belts. And I'll wait. And I want my chance to get my belt back or get all the belts back. So it's more of an intriguing thing with Sandy, because 2 back-to-back defeats, losing her belts. She's never been through this before. You know, she's one of the top fighters in the female game. Yeah. So we're massive fans of Sandy on there. She keeps herself in shape. She's always in the gym. She does lots of things on TikTok and Instagram, doing her press ups. She's got loads and loads of followers now. Love the girls a bit, but I'm just intrigued what we're going to get: an angry Sandy or a feeling sorry for herself Sandy. What are you thinking? I
think we're going to get an angry Sandy. You know what she's like. She's got that in her. She's got spite in her. She's got aggression. It's welcomed in the female fighting game, because what she did to Terry Harper was naughty and was spiteful. You know, and she does go out there to hurt. She goes out to knock you out. She goes out there to take your head off. She's more of a fighter than a boxer, but it's exciting. And I think some of her boxing's underrated. She came up against Mikeala Mayer. Mikeala Mayer is a very, very good boxer. She really, really is. And boxers against fighters, game plans is that 9 times out of 10 the boxer will win. You know, and I think that was just the way it was with Sandy.
She lost to the better girl, you know.
Yeah.
She lost to the better girl. She had the second chance. It wasn't her fault with Paint Gate and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, she had a good training camp. You know, put her head down, got on with it. But she was beaten, and there's no shame in that. No shame whatsoever.
No, absolutely. But I think so. She's in with an undefeated fighter. This lady's she's 34 years old. She's had 7 fights. The record. This is a massive step up for Grierson, by the way. Her last fight, she fought twice. She got a draw and a win, but she had the opponent had 10 wins and 25 defeats. So you know,
there you go.
So,
it's more about Sandy.
Yeah, she's never been in
with
a winning record. So yeah, this is about Sandy. I'm with you. There's not a rebuild needed, but again, we talk about the pool. I don't want to keep going about the pool with women's. You know, there isn't many top fighters out there, so they end up being big fights. So to get out there, get some ring rust off, get a win under your belt before going into something meaningful. That's what this is. And I think Sandy Ryan's going to make a statement.
Yeah, mate.
Go out there, and she's gonna have pent up aggression. I think, you know, no one likes to lose. You see the way she is, that, you know, she's not going to accept that. So I think she's going to come out here and make a statement and start screaming names, because that's what she'll do. And for me, she's going to stop this Jade Grierson in round number 6.
Yeah. I'll go the opposite of you last time. I'm going to go 5. But I also think as well, Dave, once she gets rid of this kid, I say kid, she's older than Sandy, she maybe want to try and think about jumping up to 154 while she's waiting, because obviously Lauren Price is with Boxer. Yes, they've just got that BBC deal, but the BBC deal hasn't got the same kind of money as Sky. So I kind of fear for what Lauren Price is doing. I don't want her career to stall. And obviously Mikeala Mayer with Top Rank, and Top Rank have lost their TV deal with ESPN. So nobody knows what's happening with her. Yeah. So in the meantime, jump up to 154. It's quite weak. She could easily become a 2-weight world champion up there. But I am jumping the gun, but I'm just thinking of her activity. So yeah, you're going 6. I'm going 5. Right. Before we move over to Mexico, I want to focus a little bit on Tiah Mai Ayton. Where'd you start? I know for time-wise we haven't got long, but where'd you start with this girl, Dave? 19-year-old from Bristol. Started, you know, martial arts when she was 6. You know, she became a kickboxing champion, British Jiu-Jitsu champion. She wanted to go down the route of UFC. Found a love for boxing, said it was an easier route. We saw her debut a couple of months ago. And I know people will kind of say, well, it's too early. It's women's boxing. Don't get excited. I'm sorry, I am. The way she demolished her opponent was, yes, the opponent's not up to much, but she'd never been stopped before. It was her style, her aggression, her spite, the way she set her shots up. She's been, as I said, from 6 years old, Dave, she's always been in the fight game. Yeah. There's been a lot of hype around her. Is the hype real? After one fight, I'm going to go in early. Yes, I think the hype is real. She's been nicknamed the next Katie Taylor for a reason. She had 21 amateur fights, 21 wins. I love everything I see about this girl. She's active on social media. She's putting herself out there. She talks very well, very nice looking. She's got the package. This girl's got the package. But I'm here mainly for the boxing, and she can box. And she can definitely punch. We just spoke about Sandy Ryan there going in with her opponent, hoping to do a demolition job, because we know Sandy's more of a puncher than a boxer. This girl looks very, very well-rounded, Dave. I love everything I'm seeing about Tiah Mai Ayton. I love the sound bites. we just spoke about Pat McCormack. Eddie talks more about Ayton than she does about McCormack. So that's very, very telling. And her opponent is French girl, Lydie Bialac. Don't disrespect, but you're gonna get smoked. You're gonna get smoked by this girl. She's gonna be profile building, and she's gonna go on to do very, very special things. Will I have egg on my face? Hopefully not, but I don't think I will. Dave, Tiah Mai Ayton on Saturday night against this French girl. What's happening?
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. And you don't want to jump the gun after one fight, because anything can happen. It's boxing. You know, 1 minute you're at the top of the tree, and the next thing you know, it can go horribly wrong. I don't see it with her. You know, yes, it's only one fight, but like you said, you nailed it there. The fundamentals are there. You know, she's very compact. You know, she's spiteful. She throws a good shot, which she got a stoppage. She has got the whole package, and I could see her doing great things in the sport. And so, exciting out. I want to see her out as much as possible. You know, keep her busy, keep her out. And
she's excited, isn't she? Just after one fight. after 2 rounds. She looks exciting. That's what viral moments do to people as well. Let's be honest. That's the point of a viral moment. Not clickbait, but viral moment. You click on, say, who's this girl? Wow, how she demolished that. So you go back and you have a look, see where she's going, what she's doing. We're boxing fans, so we understand how you can set a shot up. We know what she's doing with her feet. Yes, we only saw 6 minutes of action, but I don't care. I'm on the train. I think you are as well. So that's obviously why we're doing Tiah Mai Ayton for a prediction rather than somebody like Troy Williamson. But that's no disrespect because we have got bias and favouritism. Well, definitely me. But yeah, mate, sorry to take you off. But just quickly, I'm going to go for round 3. I think go around later. Maybe she want to do a bit more dancing in the ring, a few more silhouettes, get a bit more pro rounds under her belt, if you like. But I'm going to go round 3 before you finish off.
I'm with you, mate. I'm definitely going for the stoppage. I think she's going to do it again in round 2. I'm thinking she's going to go early, and round 2 for me, mate. Does
a lot of her sparring with Sky Nicholson, by the way, guys. So she's learning from the best, if you like. And Sky Nicholson, whatever you think of her, she is one of the best in world boxing in the female category. So Tiah Mai Ayton, ladies and gentlemen, watch out for the name, watch out for the girl, watch her on Saturday night. Demolition job, right? 2 left. We spoke about Pat McCormack, Dad, Dave. I called you Dad then. Fucking hell. I said that before, haven't I? I've called you Dad.
You look like your dad, my eyes.
No, he's still got all his own hair, mate, for 81. He's doing okay.
He's doing well.
We spoke about homecomings with Pat McCormack and Sunderland. We've got 2 here in Mexico. Sugar Nunez, the killer, as we like to say. He's back in his hometown of La Moquis, Sinaloa. My Spanish ain't great, guys, but he's fighting in Mexico in his hometown. He's the IBF super featherweight champion. I'm surprised he's out so soon again, Dave. 4 months after he won this belt in Japan against Rikishi, one of the fights of the year. When we come to do a review at the end of the year, people don't forget this fight. Rikishi was tough as hell. He took Sugar Nunez's best punches. We know how devastating he is to Mexican. Fantastic fight, but he's the champion now. He's back out again. As I said, in his hometown, he takes on Christopher Diaz-Velez. Eddie Hearn and another Mexican boxing promotional team have got together an 18-fight card. So if you're over there in Mexico, in Sugar Nunez's hometown, you're in for a good but a very long night of boxing. 18 fucking fights. But this, to me, Dave, it's a title. It's a title defense. Does this guy deserve a title shot, Christopher Diaz-Velez? No, he doesn't. But that's how boxing works. It's a crazy world. Showcase. It's a showcase for the hometown fans. I'm bringing my belt back to my city, to my hometown. I'm going to beat this motherfucker up. Then I'll start going for unifications and undisputed. No other way I can explain this, Dave. Diaz-Velez doesn't deserve a world title shot. This is all about the king, Sugar Nunez, who me and you kind of probably believe is probably one of, if not the best super featherweight champion in the world.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Glad to see him back out. I'm with you. The opponent, I'm not overly happy with. We want unifications. We want the best versus, the best. But
I didn't think. Sorry, mate. I didn't expect to see him out again so soon. Was it 4 months after he beat Rikishi? That's good.
Yeah,
that went the full distance. That went to 12.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want.
Yeah,
we want our champions to be active. We, like you say, you're a big advocate for sitting on belts. Not having mandatories called. Holding on to, holding up the division. That's a massive thing that you say. We can't have any. Yes, we're not. Christian Diaz-Velez probably doesn't deserve it, but it's what we want. We want our champions to be active, and so I've got, I can get on board with this. But on the flip side of that, I do want to see unifications. I do want to see the top guys in the divisions fighting each other, and hopefully that will be next. Sugar Nunez is like one of our favourite fighters. We got Bam Rodriguez, we got Oscar Collazo. We actually look about Sugar Nunez is up there. He's got a lot, mate. We don't have to go on about how great he is. He proves it. He proves it. He's got dynamite in his hands.
Yeah, he's heavy hands. Work. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, work rate, output.
Work rate, output. Shot selection, skills. He's got a lot, and he's an absolute danger in the division. I don't see any danger in it. I think he's going to go through this guy. I'm going to go through this guy like a dose of salts.
Yeah.
Christian. So he's had 30 wins, 19 KOs. So he's got some pop himself. 5 defeats.
He's only been stopped once, though, isn't he? He's only been stopped once by Navarrete.
Yeah, he has. He lost to Isaac Dogbo.
There's some names on there.
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson. He's been in with some good names.
The Japanese kid as well. Was it Ito? He's been in with him as well. So.
Yeah, he has. He's been in with some real good names there. For me, probably not, lost out at the top table, really. There's levels to this. And when he's tried to step up to a certain level, he's been beaten. But there's no doubt in my mind what's going to happen here. He's going to have 2 stoppage defeats on his record come Saturday night.
I think so, yeah.
And for me, Sugar Nunez is going to go through him. I'm going to see it again. Go through him like a dose of salts in round number 5 for me. I think he's going to go through him.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit later. That kid seems tough. Diaz Valdez. You don't expect Shaka to stop him, obviously. We know Navarrete, he's the puncher. He got rid of him, and Nunez hits just as hard, if not harder. I'm going to go a bit later, man. I'm going to go for round 10. But the fight, obviously, we spoke about before, when we talk about super fights down in these weights, it's Navarrete against Nunez. That's the Mexican, one of the best Mexican fights, one of the best fights you can probably make in boxing, which we know that's not going 12. 2 front-footed fighters that like to throw like fuck. To be fair, stylistically wise, I'll probably go for Nunez, even though I'm a massive Navarrete fan because he's so open. But that fight hasn't materialised yet, and let's hope we get that fight on. That's a fight I want to see, at least not at the end of the year, mate, but next year. That's a fantastic fight. But yeah, I'm going to go 10. You're going to go 5 for Sugar Nunez to do the business over in his hometown in Mexico. And lastly, guys, another Mexican homecoming. Let's try the town again. Domo Binacional, Nogales, Mexico, the home of Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez hasn't fought there since 2013, which is crazy because he's become a Vegas fighter. I think he's only ever fought in Mexico twice, which is mad. First time he's back in his hometown, which is good. We'll go on to what he can do. We spoke about Mick Conlan going for world titles again, and I know Oscar Valdez is a 2-weight world champion. He's been there, done it, worn the t-shirt. I'm not sure if he's got enough left to go or become a world champion right at this moment, but he's fighting on Saturday night, guys, against Richard Medina. Last saw Valdez out Dave against Navarrete, funny enough, getting stopped by him. He's lost 3 out of his last 5 now, but to be fair, there's 2 of them to Navarrete and 1 of them to Shakur Stevenson. So the resume does kind of stack up.
Yeah.
We spoke about Oscar Valdez, big fans of him on here. Yes, he's got that asterisk next to his name, like a lot of the fighters with a failed drug test and things like that. They're just some of the fights we've watched him in, mate. There just seems to be a lack of oomph.
Yeah.
There seems to be the gas tank kind of runs out championship rounds.
Yeah.
It kind of stops a little bit, runs out of ideas. It's not the Oscar Valdez of kind of, 6-7 years ago, which is understandable. Everybody gets older and people move on and things change. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I can't, even though I like watching him, there comes to a point where you think he could get stopped there, and it kind of comes out of the blue, if that makes any sense, doesn't it? He's he has changed as a fighter. To nail it down without me constantly waffling, Oscar Valdez has changed as a fighter, where now he's more vulnerable than he's ever been. That's why.
I'm gonna sum it for you in one word. He's declined.
I just should have said that originally, shouldn't I?
Yeah. He has. But you see him declining mid-fight. He starts the fights very well. He's full of energy. It's a stamina thing, mate. And listen, that's age for you. That's been in hard fights. It's wear and tear. It's miles on the clock. And unfortunately for Valdez, that's where he is in his career. It's still an exciting fighter. He still has glimpses of that. The skills and and the technique and everything that he has that got him where he is there. But it's Father Time waits for no one, mate, as we said. And it's more of an engine thing now. If he can't get you out early at the back end of a fight, he struggles, and you can just see him.
Yeah.
And you can also see him. He sort of knows it. For me, you can sort of see the fight coming out of him, and then it becomes survival mode. In a lot of the back end of his fights, still a great fighter. Still good to watch. But I think maybe now his time at the top table against the champions is probably over. I think Navarrete's proved that in the 2 fights that they had. Like I say, he starts early. This Richard Medina, it seems like a perfect opponent, and I think he'll look good in the fights like this. I just think that when you're stepping up to world class and elite and that, I think that's where the buck will probably stop. Yeah. But for me, in fights like this, I think he'll look good, and It just depends on where the desire is, you know, what the plan is and what he feels that he wants to achieve in the sport. He's achieved everything he needs to achieve. You know what I mean? He's lived his wildest dreams. But
mate, this is what I was thinking as well. This is not on Top Rank. Obviously, as I said, there's problems at the moment with Top Rank with TV deals. Are they losing fighters? This is not on a Top Rank show. This is on a Mexican, but their version, I think, of a British Boxing Board of Control.
Yeah.
Could it be a good buy? You know, he's never fought in his hometown before. You know, he's like you just said there, he's got miles on the clock. What's he had? 36, 35 fights, whatever he is. He's 34 years of age now. Is he rebuilding or is he saying goodbye? Who knows? This opponent could be, I know he's never been stopped, but it could be a good cherry pick to say goodbye. You know, a bit like, I wouldn't say a bit like Nunez, but going in front of his hometown fans and saying, right, I've ended my career here now. I'm going to move on to different things. Who knows? But the decline, mate, is definitely there, especially the mid rounds. Before we make our prediction on it, we probably reading between the lines, we probably answered the question I'm going to say. Can he win another world title? I mean, you look at some of the champions. He can compete with your Nick Balls and the Joe Leos of the world. But is there enough left to the championship rounds? Leo might land, and Nick Ball's got an engine like a Duracell bunny. And so the answer is no. I have to agree. I don't think there's enough left to become a world champion.
No, but I do believe that he'll win this fight and he'll win it well. I just think that he's got enough still and the skills and everything else to be at a certain level. I just don't think you can be putting him in world class now against these type of opponents, young, fresh fighters. They've got the will. Yeah. Sometimes the will's not there anymore. You know what I mean? He's been in some hard fights in a long career. Does he want to get up and do them runs in the rain? I don't suppose in where he's from there's much rain, but at 5 a.m. and stuff like it's the silk pajamas sort of situation, isn't it? Along with Father Time. I think he's going to win this fight well. I think he's going to win on points. I think I'm going to go for points. I was going to edge to a stoppage, but again, I still think that, yes, I think he's going to be dominant in this fight, and I think he's going to look good. But I don't. It's the back end of the fights that the issue for me, and so I don't see him getting a late stoppage. So I think he's going to win on points and win well. Yeah.
This guy doesn't seem to have much pop either. He seems to have a decent chin. He's never been stopped. You just said about the silk pajamas there, Dave. Is it silk pajamas for him, or after this, would he rather just get up late and have a bottle of Corona and a few tacos?
Like a Marcus Maidana.
Yeah, who knows? If he spoke to him personally, he'd probably tell us to shut the fuck up. He's got enough left in the tank, like most boxers do. They can't let it go. But I'm going to go the same, mate. I think this kid's possibly, from what I've seen, from what I've read, he's quite tough. Oscar Valdez can punch. So I like him to prove me wrong to an extent. But I'm going to go the same as you. I'm going to go pretty boring. I'll go Oscar Valdez to do the job quite comfortably, but to do it on points. I may even floor Medina. I'm not sure that he will stop him. But both those fights just previewed there, guys. They're not on. Well, I can't find a TV station for them. So there's other ways and other means of getting these fights. They're both over in Mexico. Mate, that's all our previews for the weekend coming, should I say, but before we clock off. We're not doing any David McDonald today because of time-wise. Dave's got to shoot off to work, and I'll be on school run not so long. I've got a few bits and bats to do. Winners Weekly Wager. We didn't have any previews or reviews last weekend for the obvious reason there wasn't any. But the previous month ago, I know it sounds crazy, I actually won one of the prediction leagues. So the scores are 14-11 to Dave. But as I won the last one, I will pick this weekend's bank of the week, and it's quite obvious where I'm going. I'm going for Tiah Mai Ayton to stop her French opponent in Lydia Bailek in 3 rounds. There's £102 in the pot. Let's hope I've made the right choice. I'm 99.9% guaranteed that I have done. So we can earn some money for the charity of your choice at the end of the year. Before we say goodbye, mate, weekend plans. I won't see you now until possibly Sunday, depending on where we are and what we're doing.
Arsenal women's are back. Me and Lola are going to Arsenal women's at the Emirates versus the London Lionesses.
Nice.
First game of the season. And then it's Stacey's nephew's 30th birthday party. Shout out to Harry. He's 30. Makes me feel old that we've got a nephew that's 30. But such his life. So we got his party on Saturday night. So that should be good. So that's about it, mate. I should go and see my dad. I went and saw him the weekend. Obviously he's unwell, but he's I watched Celtic and Rangers with him, which was very nice. The game was shit, but it was nice to sit there with my dad. He had his Celtic shirt on in his hospital.
Yeah.
He has a hospital bed in the living room, so when the nurses came in and sort of got him freshened him up for the day, they come in 4 times a day there. Mary Curry nurses, absolute angels, by the way. They really, really are. They're absolute angels, and the things they do is amazing. He had his Celtic shirt on for Celtic Rangers. Unfortunately, it was 0-0. It was a shit game, but such is life. I got to sit there with him. Them sort of moments, will last forever.
0-0 might have been the right result though, Dave. Because if either way, if Celtic could have scored, he might have gone crazy, and anything could have happened. And if Rangers could have scored, he might have been a bit crazy and down in the dump. So kind of 0-0.
Well, yeah,
might have been the right result for your dad. He's in a stable condition.
0-0 kept him calm.
That's my point. Yeah.
If Celtic scored, he might have actually got out of it, jumped out of his bed and fucking.
Exactly.
Which would have been amazing. But no, so yeah, I might try and get down Sunday. I'll see how it goes, depending on how heavy it is.
Yeah.
On the drink Saturday night. What are you up to?
Exactly the same as you, mate. I've got a fancy dress party on Saturday, should I say? 80s and 90s themed.
Lovely.
Let's just quickly, can you guess what I'm going as? I was originally going to go as Rabsy Nesbitt, but I remember you went as Rabsy Nesbitt, so I didn't want to go down the copying route. So here's a little soundbite. But here's a little soundbite. So see if you can get it. Bow, bow, bow.
You going to Grange Hill?
Yeah.
You going as a cool kid?
Yeah, I'm going as a random from Grange Hill, so I'll upload the photos from that. Bit of thought come into that. And Sunday, it's the start of the standards season in Tier 7. Our sponsor, Isla McNally, will be playing her first game of the league season, so I should be going down there and watching her and the team to support them. And the good thing about that game, we obviously sponsor her, but Rope Boxing will be sponsoring that match as well. So I get to pick the girl of the game, which is even better.
Well done. Yeah.
That's what I'm sponsoring. It doesn't cost any more. You just randomly, all the sponsors are randomly picked out for all the home games, and you get to pick the play of your choice. And now I've got my fingers crossed, no bias. I'm not going to pick Isla. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So same plans as you, mate.
A hat trick.
I know, can you imagine? But if she scores a hat trick, then yeah, you've got to, ain't you? But yeah. And hopefully we'll be back on Sunday. Mate, Sunday's going to be crazy because obviously we're going to have I don't know how we're going to do this. Obviously, you're working a lot of nights now trying to fit things in. We've got a review to do, but obviously this weekend, the next weekend coming, guys, not only have you got Canelo Crawford on the Saturday, we've got Inoue MJ on the Sunday. You've obviously got Crocker Donovan, and you've got you've also got the legend Chocolatito doing bits and bats. And that's without all your undercard fights. You've got your Christian Billies in there and all sorts. It's we've gone from nothing to stacked.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll sort something out for you guys. But I'm gonna let Dave go. Go on, so sorry, mate. Just quickly gone.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah, we're very, very stacked, and we're very, very busy. That's why we've got to go now. So I'll let you fuck off, mate. That's the end of episode 141. Like, share, and subscribe as we normally say, and we'll see you next weekend. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and enjoy the bloody boxing. So until Sunday, take care, Dave. Masses. Peace out.
See you later, mate. Take on.